Now I'm going live. We are live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's part 2 session of how to land 200 to 500k plus interviews, in particular in tech in the United States, without applying online. If you missed part 1, I'll actually go ahead and put that in the comments in just a minute.
Here, I'll
I
put
do
it.
think it's important to give a disclaimer. Part 1, it's not only because,
I'll do
it
that.
says 1, it's so important that you do part 1 first. Otherwise, part 2 doesn't work. So just leave. No, I'm just kidding. You can hang out here, but make sure you go back to part 1
Dang,
if you
K-Mac.
haven't done it. And for those of you who don't know us, my name is Katie. I'm a
Jeez.
coach at Career Sprout. This is the founder of Career Sprout that we like to call GFAL sometimes. And while you're pulling this up, I can do your part of the spiel. We go live every Wednesday. Now you can take it over.
Wait, that was good.
Oh, was it? Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I just linked part 1 to the thing. Hey, quick question. Do you want to tell them what we were just talking about a minute before?
No,
No.
we can skip it and then just go into like jokes in a bit.
Okay. All right. Anyway, everyone, thank you guys for joining. As K-Mac mentioned, my name is Gaurav Villani. We do go live every single Wednesday here on LinkedIn to talk about all things job search. Last week, we talked about how to land interviews without applying part 1. Very important. We linked it here. Today, we're going into what I do think most of you wanted to learn last week, which is how do we find more opportunities that go beyond just the job board? We're covering that today. Then hey, look at Andy Wise with the new picture. Nice to meet you.
Ooh,
Yeah.
he sent in a joke too.
Okay. We're going to hear that one. So today, here's what we're talking about. How do we find opportunities that you want that go beyond just looking at the job boards? Secondly, how do we find who do we message? And then how do we find them? And then lastly, what do we actually say to them? What scripts should you use based on who you're messaging, based on the context? And then those scripts would ideally turn it into either a conversation or an interview. So we're covering those 3 things today in the time that we got. And we have a presentation that we're going to share with you that is, again, extremely basic.
Very high tech. No
Elena, thank you
typos.
so much. Part 1
Oh,
was helpful.
good.
Good. Awesome. All right. So we're going to get into it. But before we do, as always, K-Mac is going to be sharing either a joke that she likes or a joke that somebody shared. So
Okay.
take it away, K-Mac.
I'm gonna share one that Andy shared, and then I
This
have
is Andy, right? This Andy?
this Andy. Yes. I almost didn't recognize him with a new picture. Okay, he created this one. This is an Andy Wise original.
Mm,
Knock, knock.
who's there?
You were
Who?
hired. Uh-oh, Andy. Okay, that was a little bit on my delivery because I got nervous that I was going to pronounce it wrong, and I didn't know if it was. All right, I got to back up. Oh,
Okay.
also, real quick, Andy, I just saw your note. I'm very partial to Harrisburg, and I do not know any recruiters there, but I do like the Harrisburg area. Moving along. It depends what you like, though. I'm kind of an old lady, so I don't really go out and do a lot of fun things. Joke number 2, backup joke.
Okay.
Sorry, I just exited out of it by accident. Okay, got it. Okay, this one's not a knock knock. This one I need to compose myself. Have you heard about those new corduroy pillows?
No.
They're making headlines.
That was good. That was great. Did you make that up?
Oh, I didn't make that up. I
Oh,
found
that
that
was
one.
good.
Yeah.
Very cool. Hey, listen, Evan, nice to meet you here, my friend. Kiara is an all-time favorite. I actually just had dinner with her a few months ago. It was like one of the funnest nights in a long time. All right, cool. Oh, we have so many first timers here. Well, nice to meet you all. Okay. And
Yeah,
I
I
like that.
apologize, Andy. I butchered the first one. That's not on you.
Okay. Let's get into it, K-Mac. You want to share your screen?
Yeah, I can. I'm admittedly a little bit distracted because we got some half jokes coming in. I appreciate David going line by line. But I'll share my screen. Priorities.
Yeah.
The suspense is killing me, though, if I'm being honest. Dang, we got a lot of first timers here. I hope you all are appreciating the jokes as much as I am. Oh, that's a good one, Monica. I've heard that one. Their attire.
Oh, that's good.
Mm. All right, let's get to the stuff that
Yeah.
people actually would like to see. And David, I am on the edge of my seat for whatever the answer is.
You were going to say sheet. That's funny.
Okay. How to land 200k to 500k plus interviews without applying. This is assuming that you have done part one, which is making sure that you have got all of your what we will call marketing material in order. Your resume, your LinkedIn profile, all of that. If that's not situated, this has dramatically lower success rate, like dramatically. So let's dive right into it. I've actually never presented with Canva before, so maybe I'm not gonna
No, you could
go
do
crazy.
that.
Okay, this is good. Is this big enough? Okay, no, I'll present. I'm cool. I can hang.
There we
All
go.
right. Oh, and y'all can see my pointer too. Okay, we're gonna talk about the 5 different ways to find open roles, who to send messages to about those roles, and what to say so that you get interviews, assuming that you have a keyword optimized resume with quantifiable accomplishments of how you've been able to move the needle for companies.
Yes. Quick insert here. For those of you who are like, how are you figuring this out? Where is this information coming from? Just so you know,
Oh,
Career Sprout, we've been in business since 2016. We've had over 800 clients. These are the systems that we teach to them. And so everything that we're sharing with you today is what we share and teach inside of our coaching program. And so we're just sharing with you what we have found to work. That's all. All right, go ahead, K-Mac, take it away.
okay. Yes, this is not the only way to live your life. We respect all the other ways too that work. 5 methods to find open opportunities, companies that are hiring. So method 1. Oh, I'll stop sharing we'll walk you through this line by line. But real quick, most people are familiar with LinkedIn and they're familiar with the LinkedIn job section of LinkedIn. I have some conspiracies about LinkedIn that I will not share here, but something I will share is that there are oftentimes a lot of other job opportunities that are shared or not emphasized as much when you filter by posts and by people. So I'm going to actually share my screen and walk you through step by step how to do each of these. I don't want to spend too much time on it. So if you guys have questions, just let us know and we can always circle back. But we'll dive in. So step 1, if you're looking for, let's say you're applying for VP product roles, you can search in the title here, VP product and hiring. And what you're going to see is there are people who say things like, hey, I'm a VP of product and I'm hiring. They're likely not going to be somebody who's hiring for another VP of product role. But if you're looking for, senior director product, that might be your person. The other thing that you're going to see are some posts. The other thing that you're going to see is some jobs. So I'm going to skip over the jobs because I think everybody knows how to navigate that. But if you filter by posts and you look at VP product date posted, you can filter by the past week or the past 24 hours. You're going to see some folks who are posting about, hey, we're hiring a VP of marketing, or this is VP product marketing. If that's what you're looking for, that'd be fine. If you're doing product management, just add in product management and you'll start to see some product management roles that come up as well. So when we're looking through some of these filters, whether it's VP of product, whether it's director product, anything that you're targeting and you're searching for your post, you'll start to see some of these roles pop up. Now, the cool part about this, if anybody has been on LinkedIn and you've seen 8,000 people applying to different roles, oftentimes the posts, this is where my conspiracy theories come in, like there may be like 100 people or less who are interacting with this, 20 people or less who are interacting with it. There's a ton of opportunities that aren't getting a ton of love on LinkedIn. And these are people saying like, hey, we're hiring. And sometimes in the messages, they'll even say, reach out to me directly if you're looking for this type of role. So we usually tell our clients, spend some time poking around in the past, like the recent posts of people who are searching for whatever your role is. It could be program management, it could be engineer, it could be insert whatever your title is. You just put that here and hiring in the search bar, and you'll start to see some posts come up. Similarly, let's say you are looking for the hiring managers themselves. You can type in, let's say if you're looking for a director product role, you could type in VP product. And now what you're going to see is people who are saying, hey, I'm a VP of product and I'm hiring. VP of product at Canary Technologies, I'm hiring. VP of product, actively hiring. He's head of analytics, I'm hiring. This guy's hiring across these things. And so they're literally announcing to you, hey, I'm hiring. The odds of these people responding to your messages are going to go up a little bit. So those are some ways to find some new companies or new individuals that maybe aren't currently part of your network yet, but who are hiring for the types of roles that you are interested in. So I'll pause there. Did I miss anything?
No, and it's funny. I actually just put a link, you guys, to a post that I just shared this morning. What Katie's actually walking you through right now is how one of our clients actually just got, or not just got, it was a while ago, but got an interview that ultimately landed this offer for a senior director of cloud engineering.
Cool.
So this is like what she just walked through is literally right here. So you can all refer back to it. And all the steps are there too. So
Cool.
hopefully that helps.
Yeah. And then, of course, just real quick, I'm assuming this is one's the most self-explanatory. If you're looking for a VP or again, director product, insert whatever your title is. Of course, you can also just go to the job section here and you'll see a bunch of opportunities. That's the one that most people are familiar with. So there's that. And that is the quick version of LinkedIn posts. Next one, Google. We're calling it the job board aggregator. I didn't come up with that. Shout out to somebody named Frank, who I appreciate.
You're moving everything again.
I didn't mean to. I was just trying to copy. So most people familiar with Google already. If you go to the Google.com and you just type in program manager, or again, whatever your title is, VP of product, program manager, let's just stick with the same example, VP or director of product, jobs, and then you click on jobs right here, you're going to see a bunch of different websites all getting pulled together. These are, you've got Jubal, you've got their actual career pages of websites, you've got different job boards where it's just pulling in. This is location specific right now, so you can change that to be remote. You can change it to your location. There's just a bunch of VP product roles that are out there right now that you can be looking through here. And of course, similarly, if you have added criteria that you want to put in beyond just salary, location, things like that, you can type in, like, if you're interested in financial projects, you could do like fintech jobs, and it's going to show you fintech product roles, things like that. So you can test out and whittle your list down to be closer to, whatever your criteria is as you go through the process. One thing we generally recommend to clients, though, is making sure that it's generally better to start with a wider net and then whittle it down as you go. Again, assuming that your wider net is not, I'm looking for VP of product and customer success manager, and maybe I want to be an accountant. You don't get to go to wide net on the role. You can go wide net on industries and company types, things like that.
Yeah. And just as we mentioned this a couple times, but I think it's important. To Katie's point about when this does not work is for two things. When there's two things here, right? Which is A, you're going for too many different types of roles that don't even overlap, right? And a
Mhm.
lot of times people are like, "Ooh, I'm going for customer success, but I also feel like I could do product, and I also feel like I could." It's like that's too many different things, and we always say this, and I'll say it again: the man who chases two rabbits catches none. In this job market, it is really important to be hyper focused on the role that allows you to get your foot into the door using your strongest skill set. And so that's the first thing, right? Going after the one role. And then the second thing is making sure that you're using your LinkedIn profile to speak, to articulate your relevant experience and relevant achievements that speak to that one role you're going after. And I linked it above. That was like the first link I put here. That part one from last week, for those of you who are new here, there's a lot of first timers here. Part one is so important because we actually talked about how to write your LinkedIn profile in a way that actually generates interviews, generates eyeballs. And so then when you start using the scripts that we're going to share in a little bit, that actually supercharges it. And can I just share my screen real quick, if you
I
don't
guess
mind?
I can allow it.
Anyway, so let me share something, y'all. So share screen, share screen, share screen. All right. Why can't we? Katie was singing, "Why can't we be friends?" like 20 minutes before we jumped on. Now it's stuck in my head. All right. So, random. Where is this? See this post right here? I'll link it here. How do I click on this? This is how she landed 7 interviews in 15 days. I shared the exact playbook before. And if you see this, day 3 is the most important. I talk about that here. She actually shared right here, "I hope all is well. I want to say that I attended your workshop, 7 interviews in 2 weeks. And one of them was at Google. And I talked about why you shouldn't skip day 3. So if you want, I'll actually link this here as well, so you guys can kind of go through it. And I would make sure for the first timers here, please watch part 1, do the action items in part 1, and then all of this you'll crush this part. Okay,
Yes.
that's all.
Okay. Can I tell you something while I'm sharing my screen?
Yeah.
The other day, I actually said, Gaurav has this great saying, "He who catches two rabbits chases none." And as soon as I said it, I said, wait a second, he didn't come up with that.
I did not. That was a Confucius saying. I'm not that smart.
Anywho, that's just how highly I think of you.
Thank you.
In
And
case
the
you
answer to this, Harshan, yes, it is. And you'll see that we're going to cover this in a few minutes, but the answer is yes.
Yes. And we'll talk about exactly who. Okay, the other two, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because they're fairly straightforward. G, you'll link
Yes.
the actual job boards. Big fans, especially if you're somebody that's targeting startups or smaller companies. It's very likely that you don't know the name or you've never even heard the name of the company that you are going to end up at. And so being able to go where the money flows, looking at the companies that VCs are investing heavily in and their portfolio companies, really good way to find some jobs that may be exciting to you. Next one.
Here's and I'm dropping the VC job board link, you guys. This one's so cool because you'll find so many opportunities on here that
Yeah.
are not even on like the Google aggregator, that are not even on LinkedIn oftentimes.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I would click on them, but they don't have the hyperlink.
It's all good.
Next one, this is similar. It's very rare that people come to us with like a dream company list. There's very few people that have a top 10 or a top 100 dream companies. However, it's more common that people have an interest in different industries. So taking some time to think through what are some of the industries that are growing, I would highly recommend making it as easy as possible on yourself. Don't go into newspaper, ad sales or something like that. What are the industries that are growing that you're interested in? And then you can just really simply Google the top 20, 50, whatever companies. So if we were, let's say, fintech, top fintech companies in the US, or you could even change your location as needed to a state, whatever. You'll see something like this pop up oftentimes, and it's going to show you all of these different company names. Now, obviously, most of these are bigger companies that you all have heard of. If you're looking for startups, you can click, you can do top fintech startup companies, something like that, and just get specific. And you'll see some of these lists pop up of the top fintech companies, 110 fintech companies and startups to know. And whatever your criteria is of what you're interested in, being able to just go and look at their company pages. Every company is not going to post every job opportunity they have on every single job board that's out there. Why? One, it's expensive. Two, with everything, well, I won't even go into, let's just stick with it can be expensive, and it's free for them to post on their company page. Oftentimes their career company page has all of the roles that they are hiring for, or at least all of the roles that they have listed. So your odds of finding an actual role are actually higher on the company page versus just their LinkedIn or Indeed or things like that. And so once you see, we're going to talk about how to use the outreach, but being able to just go to the actual career pages and find them to build out. Typically, our clients will reach out or find like 4 to 6 roles per week that they're excited about and use the outreach process that we're about to share to reach out to them. Next one. Do you want to cover this one?
Which one is it? No, I think
alumni.
I think you're way better at this one. Go ahead.
So for alumni networks, I'm not going to talk about this too in depth. I'll give you the high level overview. One of the coolest things that we've seen our clients leverage is their alumni networks from their universities, whether it's undergrad, grad school, MBA, or even like coding boot camps, things like that, product boot camps. They'll find past the people who used to go to those organizations or used to work at the same companies that they worked at. This is especially cool if you have like Oracle or Salesforce, something like that on your resume already. There are a ton of alumni who used to work there, and you guys already have somewhat of a warm thread. It's cool to reach out to those people. They're far more likely to accept and respond to your messages, number one, which is cool. But two, the other thing that is we've seen happen time and time again is our clients have just taken time to send messages of gratitude to some of the people that they used to interact with over the years, whether it was colleagues, leaders, professors, whatever the case may be. And they take a minute. I'll share the actual message that they use or the framework, but taking a little bit of time to just reconnect with some people through the lens of gratitude. I know it's a little like it. I don't think this is what most people talk about in terms of like networking or the job search. Even if it doesn't land to a job or an interview, the amount of good that we've seen come from this, where it's like people will reach out with a message of gratitude and the person responds and they go, gosh, you have no idea how badly I needed to hear that today. Or gosh, like this means more to me than you could ever know. Finding ways to just feel good and change your mood during the job search and during outreach, especially if you're a little bit more introverted like me and it's not like a natural thing for you to want to reach out and have conversations. Adding a couple of these in weekly or every other week, whatever the case may be, it's been so cool to watch the conversations and the relationships that blossom from it. And there's been so many times where unexpectedly that person that they reconnect with goes, God, like, I can't believe the timing here. I actually have a VP of product role about to get listed or this or that. And like, that's just like an added bonus. So this is one I highly recommend doing it whenever you can. We'll go through the messages to send. Real quick, the other 3 bonus methods that we love, similar, I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. You can follow the breadcrumbs, look at the people who are where you want to be. That could even be people who used to work at the same companies as you. Look at where they ended up, look at where they are now, and that'll spark some ideas of other companies. And then the other thing, if you've never seen it before, the ADP list, it's a really cool tool that actually one of our clients showed us. It's just a free platform. I've never seen anything quite like this. They're up to like over 30,000 mentors in their community where you can just reach out to folks who are within your discipline or who are at, the companies that you're excited about, things like that. And these are people who are literally signing up to be a free mentor for other people. So it's a cool way to connect with people who are where you want to be or at companies you're excited about. And it's completely free. A lot of people actually end up signing up as mentors as well once they accept the job. And it's not just job search related. It's more like discipline related in terms of like product, data, things like that.
Yeah. One thing I'll add, and I want to go back to, but one thing I'll add, remember, these are all the different ways our clients are landing interviews.
Yeah.
And the way they've been able to do that, and think about this almost logically, right? Let's say you did go on adplist.org, and it's such a super cool website, like Katie's saying, and you end up speaking with, let's just say, a vice president of product at a company you think is cool. Now, you end up speaking with her. She thinks your background is awesome. She gives you insights. This person may, if you guys were able to connect and hit it off, and she sees a lot of value in you and what you're doing and what you have done, why wouldn't she either try to refer you internally, or why wouldn't she try to introduce you to somebody else? And that's not sort of the outcome you want to like bank on, but it is an outcome that often happens. And so this is such a powerful site. And then going back one slide where Katie's like, you can reach out to alumni and send them gratitude messages. Again, a lot of times, remember, most people are always looking at either Indeed or like a job board. But what they're missing out on are jobs that are going to come up very soon. So one of our clients, his name is Sunny. This is exactly how he was able to land 11 interviews, because he had been at Salesforce, I think for like 10 years, then he got laid off, 9 or 10 years, and then he got laid off. So he went to this, he applied the gratitude thing, and here's how he did it. So I'm going to just share this here. Where the heck is my screen? All right. So I'll share this here real quick. So this is exactly what he did. So you can go, let's just say you're a vice president. Let's just say you're a product manager, right? And now let's say one of the companies you worked for was Salesforce. And if you're a product manager, your future boss likely holds one of the following titles: director of product, head of product, vice president of product. So what you could type right here, and I'll kind of zoom in so you guys can see this. Oops, shoot. Is this. So here's how I would do it, just so you can see. You would type in like this: director, or in quotes, vice president. Anytime you're putting more than one word, you want to put it in quotes. Vice president. Then you would say, and you could say product, right? Because again, you're looking for someone that could be your future boss. So then you hit enter. And then over here to the right, you would click all filters. Or actually, you don't even have to do that. You could just click companies. Oh, no, sorry. You would click all filters. My bad, y'all. And then right here, you would say past company. Where the heck is this? I messed up. All right. Once you type that in, I'm so sorry. You click all filters, and then you say past company right here.
So just a little down, yeah.
Yeah. And then you say, let's just say one of the companies you work for was Salesforce. So then you click show results, and you'll see something really cool here. 9,300 people who once worked at Salesforce now are either, a VP of product or a director of product working somewhere else. And so one of the scripts that we're going to share in a minute is you could send a message to, let's just say this guy, Kevin, and say, even if you don't know Kevin, you would say, hey, Kevin, I was just reaching out to past Salesforce alumni. Love how you've been able to navigate your career since then. And then you put something very specific. Either would love to hop on a call to, kind of understand like how you went through your journey, how you've navigated your journey. Or if there's a particular role at Kevin's current company, you can ask about that. There's a lot of things you can say, and we'll share the script in a minute. But the reason this method is so effective is because when someone who shares a past, sort of like a common past with you, the likeliness of them wanting to respond to you or willingness to respond to you is a lot higher. So our client Sunny got 11 interviews just from doing this, leveraging Salesforce alumni alone. And there's 9,300 people that either hold a director or a VP title. So that's just one other way.
Cool. I like it.
Cool.
Is this helpful for you guys? I feel like we should probably do more checks on that.
Yeah, I know. That's a good check-in. Is this? Yeah, let us know if this is helpful.
Cool. Oh, there's some people that hadn't heard of the ADP list. Cool. Yeah, we hadn't heard of it either. That was like probably 2 years ago now that a client shared that with us.
Yeah, the website, I'll put it right here.
Yeah. Awesome. The last little bonus one here that I wanted to share, this one's been getting kudos to LinkedIn for getting better. What seems like they're getting better and better at this. When you see a role, especially if it's something like this, where it's like, hey, no longer accepting applications. Let's say it was actually posted like 3 months ago or something like that. It's like, yeah, it's probably not still viable. But when you look at it, it looks like a cool role. LinkedIn has gotten better and better. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom section here, the more jobs, they're getting better about showing jobs that are either similar salary range or similar title or even similar company like industry types too. So highly recommend whenever you see a job that you're excited about, just scrolling down here and just checking out some of the other roles that are similar in nature. Again, it could be similar because of salary, company type, industry, title, things like that. So that is how to find some open roles. Are you also going to share how to outreach to people we don't know? Sure are. Jumping right ahead. Who to message. So as a general rule, people fall into 2 categories. You know them or you don't. Maybe you even kind of know them. We can put in all 3 of those. Mm-hmm. And so what most folks are doing, or what our clients we recommend doing, is starting with who are the people who are most likely to respond to you and have information or intel about the company or the job that you're excited about. So you just use those couple different methods to find maybe 4 to 6 roles per week that you're excited about. Now, who do we reach out to actually get a conversation started and potentially an interview? Generally, we'll start with warm people. That means somebody you know works at the company. Maybe somebody went to the same university as you. Maybe somebody who worked at the same company as you, right? Going through those filters that G just shared. I won't reshare them here. You can search your network, add in those filters, and find some folks who are warm, meaning you either know them or you have something in common with them. Generally, we'll reach out to 3 to 5 or so per role that we're excited about. If you guys aren't sure how to find some of these folks, we can always circle back and show it, but I just want to make sure we get through it and then we'll come back with questions. So who are the warm people? Start by reaching out to them. Now, sometimes you won't have any warm folks. Sometimes you will. Either way, once you've found a role, once you've found a company that you're excited about, logically, we want to start building relationships with the folks who work at that company. Anybody who has sat and applied to jobs knows it's not all that effective. So being able to either reactivate your current network or start building your new network is going to dramatically increase not only your odds of getting an interview now, but also build your network of people who 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, you will be able to reactivate at some point or potentially give value to. Like the stuff that we're about to show and the messages that we are going to share in just a minute here, it's so cool because like once Career Sprout folks get this, it's pretty rare that it takes our alumni more than 30 days to find a job. Like even if they're unexpectedly laid off, like once they've gone through the program once, because they've spent the last X number of years or X number of months still intentionally reaching out to executives or potential hiring managers or cross-functional peers or recruiters who work at companies that they're excited about. And so when we're going through this process, we'll start with the warm folks, reaching out to them, seeing if they can introduce us to the hiring manager, or maybe they are the hiring manager. But then we're also going to start building relationships and reaching out to the executives, the hiring managers. Sometimes that's one and the same, depending on your, level. And the people that you might be interacting with on a weekly or even a monthly basis, and the recruiters who work there. So we'll walk through the messages on what to say to these folks. But real quick, I just wanted to share my screen and walk through how you could find some of these folks. So if you go to your network tab and you click on your connections here on the left-hand side, and then you search with the filters, let's say you are looking at, I'll just use that company that was just pulled up, Atlassian. I'm going to look for the current people that I know. Do I have any first degree connections here? Okay, I know some of these people. Depending on how you use LinkedIn, when you search for your first degree connections at Atlassian, you might see these names and be like, I actually have no idea who these people are. Or you might see them and be like, oh gosh, I had no idea that Carol now works at Atlassian. Those are going to be people who are more likely to be warm. When we go and we start searching for some of the executives or hiring managers, cross-functional peers, recruiters, really simple search. All we're going to do is go to the all filters. You can add second degree connections in, and now you're going to see people that you can reach out to. These are all the people that we share a mutual connection. And you're going to see they all fall into these different categories. So if I'm looking for, let's say, a recruiter, I can type in talent acquisition. Normally I just copy and paste this. So hopefully I spelled this right. Or recruiter. And this is just a search that's going to show me anybody who has talent acquisition or recruiter in their LinkedIn profile, and they currently work at Atlassian, and we have a mutual connection. So now these are like 90 folks that I can look and give my best guess at, like, okay, I'm going to reach out to like 3 to 5 of them who may be tied to that, in this case, program manager role. And just looking through these, if it says, hey, I'm a principal recruiter looking solely for engineers, like, are they going to be the one hiring for a program manager role? Probably not. If they say they're a university, recruiter, are they going to be the one that I reach out to? Probably not. But sometimes you'll see folks who say, like, hey, I'm recruiting for, program managers. I'm recruiting for engineers, whatever the case may be. You're just going to give your best guess and reach out to 3 to 5, give or take. And the cool part is you can even look and see, like, oh, I actually know, let's say, Emilio really well. You can even ask Emilio for an introduction to this person because you guys, have mutual connections. You might even have somebody who can facilitate an introduction to a recruiter or to an executive or to a potential hiring manager, cross-functional peers. So all we're really looking at is who are the people that could potentially influence this job search. And is there anybody I can know who can make an introduction? If not, I'll just reach out to them cold using the messages that we're about to share. Anything you want to add to that? I feel like I went through it a little quickly.
No, not yet.
Cool.
I have something I'll add in a second, though, once you're done. This is good.
Awesome. We're going to dive into anything to share before we dive into what to say?
Mm-mm.
Okay, perfect. So what do we say to these people? Well, if you're sending a connect request, this is one of the best connect requests right now. It's just looking forward to connecting with you here. Name, if you guys used to go to the same school or work at the same company, you can add in something like that. Very simple. Looking forward to connecting with you here. That's all you have to do for a connect request message. Once they accept, if you don't know them and there's nobody who can make an introduction, you're just going to send them what we call a role-specific message. You're going to make it as easy as possible for this person to see why you're a good fit for this role that you are reaching out about. So a really good litmus test is if you could send the same message to 10,000 other people, probably not going to be a great message. Probably going to just look like spam. If you tweak it and tailor it so that it's something that you could only say about this specific job description, and you add in your quantifiable accomplishments tied to that job description, that's where we can get really, really granular on why you're a good fit for this specific role that you're targeting. So if there's time, maybe we can go back and I'll do an example of this, of what I might pull from the job description. But I want to make sure we have time to cover everything. So we could always do a separate part on just like messages that get sent out, if that's helpful for folks. This is what you send when it's like, okay, I said, looking forward to connecting with you here. Then they accepted. Awesome. Now you're going to just reach out to them about the specific role that you saw. And then a really simple, hey, if you think my background may be a fit, you happen to know who I should reach out to. Or if it's like a recruiter, you could say, if you think my background may be a fit, do you would you be opposed to hopping on a call to discuss, this role and company a bit more? The other two things that may happen, if we go back to, okay, well, what if you're reaching out to somebody warm, somebody works there? Well, then it's our opportunity. We can either reach out to them directly about that role, like we just talked about, or if you're like, okay, I know a product manager there, but I'm applying for, an engineering role and the product manager isn't tied to this team, you can just ask your connection if they'd be willing to make an introduction or look up who the hiring manager is. So this is a script that's worked well for that. Or sometimes we even have it to where maybe there's not even a role, it's just a company that you're really excited about. Or maybe there's somebody at the company that's just like, gosh, like, even if I don't end up, at this role, it'd be so great to just reconnect with them and hear what they have going on. And this is that gratitude message that I mentioned earlier, where it's just being able to take some time to make a deposit into like relationship buckets with folks and just saying thank you. And maybe it's a leader. It's like, hey, I just learned so much from being around you, working with you, whatever the case may be. We've had VP C-suite folks send this out to direct reports who did something that was just either really impressed them or just whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter what your level is. Finding somebody that you can send this message of gratitude to, and then just saying, hey, it'd be great to hop on a call to catch up. Would love to hear how life is treating you, catch you up on what I'm doing. It's not a good time, no worry. Either way, just wanted to say thanks again for all the lessons and hope you and your loved ones are doing well. And one of the really important pieces of this is, one, it feels good. Mm-hmm. Two, there's like a tangible, for some people, there's a difference between how you send out messages when you're in a job versus not in a job. And if you're able to kind of settle the nerves, get yourself to neutral, and just send the messages that you would send if you currently had a job and you were just looking to reach out and build relationships and see if an opportunity was worth your time, you're more likely to send some of these messages out to the folks that you know, because it doesn't really feel like you're making a withdrawal from the account. It's like, hey, I'd love to catch up and hear how things are. This is something that used to be, really common when everybody was in office. People who do these types of things a little bit more. And now we're just kind of taking the things that used to be natural and normal in quote unquote real world. It's like, here's how we move them online so that you can still build intentional relationships with folks, even though there's, a screen in between you, getting onto a call or just having some conversations, in LinkedIn Messenger or email, text, whatever your mode is. That's really what we're aiming for here, is how do you have conversations and build relationships with people who, one, you're just really impressed by, or two, have some sort of association to a role that you're interested in. Anything you want to add to that, G?
No, you're covering it really well.
Cool. Any questions that came in? That I know you've been in here answering quite a few of them.
So I know we're running up on time, y'all. Real quick, again, I'm sorry to interrupt K-Mac. Alex just asked, how do you keep track of all the messages and things like that you're sending? We created this free little dashboard here that when I'll put the link in a second, but what you can do is just come here, make a copy, right? And then that way you can just make this thing your own. And so in here, you can literally just track like who you're reaching out to, what you said, any follow-ups, all the things. Then you can also track your interviews. You can track like the messages, you can track like the scorecard, and it's all, there's formulas in here and all that. So as you're updating all these things and populating it, this will be updated. So you can have like a high level dashboard of like what's working, what's not working kind of thing. So I'll drop the link here for you guys, because I know this can seem a little bit like overwhelming. Like, if I'm sending so many messages, where do I keep track? Who do I follow up with? This is a really cool way just to have it all in one view. So that's cool. It's also free. So here's the dashboard. Go ahead, K-Mac.
Cool. No, I think I think that's probably a good place to wrap, because I know we're up on time here. Let us know, was this helpful, or is there anything that you guys I don't think we have anything on the docket for next week yet as a topic. So if there's anything you wanted us to go a little bit deeper in, or explain a little bit more in depth next week, definitely more than happy to do that as well. But yeah, you guys let us know, and we can. Am I correct? Do we already have something planned for next week?
No, we don't.
Yeah. Hey, so if there's anything you guys wanted us to go a little bit more in depth on that we just kind of went more surface level, just let us know, and more than happy to get that on the docket for next week.
Hey, and can I just say something for all of you who are here? I'm very much mindful and aware of the fact that everything we just shared can seem like a lot. And Lauren just said something a few messages ago. She's like, oh my God, I feel so silly for not doing this. And Katie says something all the time, a couple things. Number one, just remember that there is literally no correlation with being good at your job and then being good at the job search. They're two very different things. And the job market is so evolved and so competitive that what we're sharing with you is kind of like a new skill that you just have to learn. And it's just like anything else in the past you've learned. In the beginning, it'll feel messy. But the more you do it, the clearer and easier, or simpler it will become. So just please don't ever feel bad or upset with yourself or critique yourself, because these are all things you didn't know. It's like none of this was ever really taught to anybody. That's number one. And then last thing I'll say before we wrap up today is, again, all of this seems like a lot. Keep in mind, like, this seems like a lot even for our own clients. And one of the things we tell them is, you don't try to do all of this at one point. Instead, you kind of like do one of these things per day. And if you want to know what really good looks like, most of our clients are spending maybe an hour and a half per day on outreach using one of these sort of strategies. And then if you want to know what really, really good looks like, they're averaging about 1 to 3 new interviews per week by sending out 20 to 30 messages per day, and never more than 30. So like, that's kind of like your North Star to aim for. And don't get, again, upset with yourself if you don't hit it right off the bat. You're going to work your way towards this. So chip away at it, one thing at a time, one strategy at a time. Don't try to do all of it at once, because you will feel overwhelmed and burn yourself out real fast. So just wanted to say that we are here to support you guys. And we are always freaking rooting for all of you behind the scenes, whether you know it or not. And if you'd like, please try to connect with myself and Katie, and send us a DM and let us know what sort of topics you'd like for us to cover. We do go live every Wednesday. And if that's a topic that you recommend that we feel comfortable teaching, we'll certainly do that. So anyway, thank you all for joining joining today and staying with us all the way to the end, and all the energy you guys brought to this. We appreciate it a lot, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.